Okay, so in the last video, we added a second way to play a note. You can now hold a note. So now we need notes that require to be held that extra amount of time. So first, let's create the note. So let's just take the pre-existing note, drag it into the scene, and we're going to rename it. We'll call it Note 2x. And we're just going to give it a different material. So right-click, create material, and we'll call this Note 2x matte. Let's just take a quick look at the settings for this one. So maxed out metallic, about 80% smoothness. So we'll click on this. Maxed out metallic, about 80% smoothness. And we'll make it red. That way it's distinctive. Take that, put the new material on it, and let's just run it so we can see what that looks like. Okay, so that's very distinctive from the previous one. Or should I say the other note. So we'll take that note 2x, drag and drop it into the asset area and delete it from the scene. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new script. So right click, create C# note 2x control. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go into string1 script, and in the last video we created this new variable to track whether or not if you've released the key yet, because we need to know if the key is still being held, so that way the note is being held. We're just going to make a tweak. We're going to make this static, and that way this variable can now be read by the new script we just created. So let's go ahead and open up that new script. What we're going to do is we're going to make it very similar to this, the first note control. So we're going to grab the success and fail prefabs. Let's go ahead and put those in right away so I don't forget. Let's get rid of the old note control script. Add in the new note control script. And let's put, so burst G is the success, burst R is the fail. Let's go back to the script. And let's see what else we need. All right, so this half is going to stay the same. The success, the fail. So the fail is going to stay the same. But the success needs to be handled a little bit differently. And the reason for that, okay, is the fail is an instant. The collision occurs and it fails. But now, with the success, it's not just an instant collision. We need it to actually have an ongoing collision. And so to do that, that coroutine is void on trigger stay collider other. So whereas this is looking for the on trigger enter is the single frame in which the trigger is entered. This is the ongoing collision with the trigger. So let's go ahead and pop that in there. And I think I have an extra one of those. The perils of copying and pasting. So we're getting there. We're going to add a new variable. So public int, and it's going to be note HP, and it's going to be set to 10. So what that does is, whereas the trigger to fail is an instant collision, we want this to be ongoing, and we're going to track how long it goes by reducing this variable as long as the collision is occurring. So on trigger stay, so while this collision is occurring, and it's occurring with the success collider, all we really want to happen is that new note HP minus equals 1 to be reduced by 1. But we don't want the collision with the success object to be the only determinant. There's something else going on as well. As we said, we want to make sure that this variable is still set to release no, that the key has not been released, that the string has not been released yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to say and string 1 dot released key equals no. Because the only way these two conditions can be true is if the key is currently being pressed, because it would not be colliding with the success collider if the key hadn't been pressed yet, and if the key has been let go, then this would not be true. So the only way these two conditions can be simultaneously or concurrently true is if the button has been pressed and is still being held. However, we only want this to happen. Obviously, we don't want to keep destroying the object. We don't want to keep instantiating. We want to wait until this gets down to 0. So this functionality gets removed from here. We're going to pop it into the update section. And we just need an if statement. If note HP is less than 1, then go ahead and do that functionality up there instead. So that, I believe, should do it. We can test this. So let's go ahead and take the note 2. So let's see. So the note HP is there. Everything is attached to it. Just going to drag and drop this. Move it close so we don't have to wait too long for it. Go. So the held button work. Now let's try a tap. As you can see, the tap failed. It was kind of the last second, so we'll do it slightly quicker. Okay. As you can see, it's failing, even though it's colliding with it. It's failing because, yes, the collision is occurring. Sorry, wrong one. Yes, the collision is occurring, and it's colliding with this, but since I let go of the key, this is no longer true. You know that I let go of the key because you saw it returning back to its normal position. So that should about do it. The only step left is that in the GM, right now you're only instantiating note object. We simply need to add a variable up here for note object 2, and then do like a randomization as to which one should appear. So I'll probably do one more video for that, but maybe do 1 or 2 other add-ons as well. So that should do it for now.